Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer, for the privilege to address this House. Greeting to my fellow colleagues. Whereas there have been several adjustments to the secondary entrance assessment in the past few years, and whereas the national community has been discussing the removal of SEA without the involvement of primary school students, the main stakeholders. And whereas the Tobago House of Assembly has responsibility for education according to the THA Act 40 of 1996, be it resolved that the Executive Council creates a student-based team to examine the impacts and effects of the SEA. Be it further resolved that the Executive Council considers adding the Montessori method to the educational system in Tobago. Madam Presiding Officer, some of us here and many other 11 to 13-year-olds in Trinidad and Tobago are anxiously awaiting the arrival of SEA results. We did this exam on March 21st. We, as well as our parents, guardians, and teachers, are hoping that we pass for our first choice. Although the SEA is used by the state to make secondary education accessible to all, this exam may have more damaging effects than good at present. Madam Presiding Officer, I rise on Standing Order 42-7. I seek leave to read an extract of my presentation.
The leave is granted.
According to Kevin J. Palmer, sir, and I quote, "The secondary entrance assessment has become one of the biggest nightmares faced by most 8 to 11-year-olds in one of the most critical development phases by their lives. Every year around this time, the publication of SEA results stirs a discussion on the negative impacts, but continues without major restructuring of the process to transition to secondary school. As students sitting here today, we can attest to the trauma we have been through. This caused by the fear of not fulfilling the expectations of our parents, teachers, and those who know us. The many drills and extra lessons which prepare us with short-term memory learning do not fully help us to think critically and be creative. Every year, there are discussions to remove the SEA, but the primary school students have not been given a platform to voice their concerns. Since the Tobago House of Assembly has responsibility for the education according to the THA Act 40 of 1996, Madam Presiding Officer, we, the majority, believe that the Executive Council should create a student-based team to examine the impacts and effects of the SEA. The information collected can be used by the Tobago House of Assembly to improve the educational system in Tobago. The Executive Council should also consider adding the Montessori method to the educational system, because this method is a hands-on approach that will get students more interested in learning. Madam Presiding Officer, I thank you and I beg to move this motion standing in my name.